I had a chance to catch up with that little horror comedy released last Valentine's Day called Lisa Frankenstein. Here are my thoughts. Lisa Frankenstein is streaming on Amazon Prime from Focus Features. It's directed by Zelda Williams and written by Diablo Cody. It's 1989 in Illinois, USA, and Katherine Newton plays Lisa, an awkward teen whose mother was killed by an axe murderer 1 year prior and now lives with her father, Dale, played by Joe Crest, stepmother Janet, played by the yummy Carla Gugino, and stepsister Taffy, played by Lisa Soberano. Unlike her popular cheerleader sister, Lisa is an outcast at school, but she has her eye on boy hunk Michael Trent, played by Henry Eikenberry. After getting drunk at a party that Taffy dragged her to, Lisa wanders off to an abandoned cemetery, a place where she often goes to write poetry, do gravestone rubbings, and act mopey. But on this particular night, a green thunderstorm appears in the sky, shooting a bolt of lightning into the grave of a young musician poet played by Cole Sprouse, who met a tragic end 100 years ago. The bolt resurrects the young lad, and while frightened at the first time of the creature, Lisa accepts him as a friend and helps him out by sewing new body parts onto him to replace the ones that have decayed or fallen off. Of course, these body parts have to come from somewhere, so Lisa and the creature murder a few people in order to make the creature whole again. Much antics, nostalgic 80s music, and fairy tale logic ensue. I wasn't in a rush to see Lisa Frankenstein. I've seen many a film attempt to capture that cynical look and feel of the 80s teen horror comedy, and none of them seem to grasp the right lightning in a bottle that only a few films did, i.e. Heathers, Donnie Darko, Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, and a few others. I'd include the more modern and truly excellent Excision on that list as well. From what I saw in the trailers, it felt like Lisa Frankenstein was going to be very cutesy, neon-bathed, and filled with obnoxiously on-the-nose songs from various retro 80s bands. And as it turns out, I was right about all of that. But it also turns out I liked it a hell of a lot. The getting to know you part of Lisa Frankenstein takes an awfully long time. We find out about Lisa, her past and current situation, her stepsister, her father, her mother, her stepmother, her crush on Michael Trent, and so on. All set to various tunes from the era when MTV actually played videos. It's a good 20 to 30 minutes before the actual horror shows up and the plot begins to roll out. So it's apparent from the get-go that the hearts of writer Diablo Cody and director Zelda Williams lie in wallowing in all of that gooey 80s nostalgia. The filmmakers have the most fun here, and I have to admit, having lived through this era, I bought into that fun too. Early on, with the gory Burton-esque opening animation, it was obvious this was going to be a horror comedy that leans more toward comedy than horror. Nothing wrong with that. I prefer the opposite, but when done well, as with the aforementioned Burton flicks and so on, it can be a good time. The problem with Lisa Frankenstein is that the filmmakers are having so much fun with the 80s that they forgot some major plot holes along the way. Beginning with the whopper. Who killed Lisa's mother? You don't begin a story with the tragic death of someone by a mysterious axe murderer and not reveal who it is somewhere in the story. Now, there are theories about this omission. The most logical is that Lisa killed her mother herself, and that all of this resurrected monster stuff is all in Lisa's head. So later in the film, as Lisa and the creature begin killing people, it's just Lisa giving into her murderous feelings. I kind of like this theory, as it really does lean into the dark side of things, but this is not made apparent anywhere in the story. There's no revelation at the end that this is what's happening. There isn't a moment where Lisa realizes that it was her doing all of the killing, and her who killed her mother. So if it isn't on screen, the plot hole of who killed Lisa's mother is simply bad writing 101 for that omission. There are other holes, such as the convenient functionality of Taffy's tanning bed, which somehow revives dead tissue, and multiple tannings turn the decayed husk of the creature into a Johnny Depp-like boy toy. Again, This is a fun and kooky thing, but there's nothing in the story that explains why this tanning bed does what it does. I know it's picking at nits, but the fact that none of this is explained really took me out of the story and made me conscious that this is just a convenient and topical way to get from point A to B. Again, lazy and problematic writing is at hand here. Yes, it's the boring logical stuff, but stories need to make sense in the world they're happening in. And since, before the lightning storm incident, it's basically supposed to be our world in 1989, and if that's the case, the appearance of the magical tanning bed needs to be explained. Almost making me ignore these voluminous potholes is the performance of the lead, Kathryn Newton, as Lisa. Much like Winona Ryder's Lydia, she's the dark goth outcast at a preppy school. But was she like this before her mom died? Or is this a new thing? Lydia is morose because her mother died, but also seems to have an eccentric family despite all of that. We know nothing about Lisa before her mother is killed, and that's a problem. Still, Newton definitely gives a wonderful performance, offering up a sassy and morose spin on lines that would otherwise be unnoticeable. With this performance, along with her performances in Freaky and Abigail, Newton has proven to be one to watch, despite her character being underwritten here. Cole Sprouse is less impressive. He's basically just aping the look and feel of Johnny Depp in Edward Scissorhands. His performance really doesn't go any further than that, and most of the work comes from the makeup department trying to make the actor look like Depp. The real surprise performance is by Lisa Soberano as Taffy. Usually this type of character is supposed to be a cliché, but because of how vicious the story is, you end up feeling sorry for this clueless little flower. I can't wait to see more of her work in the future. What makes me look past the writing issues with Lisa Frankenstein is the dark tone that they commit to until the very end. This isn't a movie with a fairy tale ending, but it still kind of has one in a very, very dark way. And while usually the nostalgia thing turns me off, the love the filmmakers have for the 80s era is downright infectious. As long as you don't think too hard, Lisa Frankenstein is going to be a lot of fun for you. Please do me a favor and punch that like button down below. Share this video with all of your social media addicted pals. Click subscribe to this channel and ring that bell for notifications. You're doomed to live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside your reality. You're